change things, but you can. I can't save you. Hey.
Okay, then.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back. It's been so long. Season 5.
Season 3 or 4, I think is probably more accurate.
Yeah.
Long time no screw.
Maybe.
Wait.
Dust off your drill. Make sure that bad boy's charged. Because we're back. The Screw Boys.
The Screw Pun Podcast.
We're back to screwing around.
Man, I bet we've done that one.
I think we've done all of these.
Let me grab my notes.
Anyways, it's good to see you guys. Been so long. Been too long. And I'm talking about the boys, not our 3 listeners.
Yeah.
Anyways, so today I think we're going to talk about, at the very end, Spidey-Man into the Spiderverse.
Yeah.
Because then we can get into spoilers, and that way you don't have to skip around if you don't want. I mean, it's a superhero movie. It's not crazy, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get to it. So should we get to movies we've seen?
Yeah, we can talk about movies that we've seen. I've got my list. Gabe, do you have a list?
I got a mental list, I guess.
Let's talk about. I'm gonna kind of do save the stuff that I have more to say later on. But we both watched Kindergarten Teacher, right?
Yeah.
On Netflix with Maggie Gyllenhaal. She plays a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
It was weird. You know, I liked it. The ending felt kind of anticlimactic. What I didn't like about it was I feel like all of the best moments are kind of in the trailer for the most part. And I really don't like when movies do that. And it feels like more and more movies are doing that nowadays. But
Aladdin, for example.
The big reveal.
The big reveal. The big spooky reveal.
Big blue. You know what's weird, too, is if you watch that in full screen, you can see his dick. Just a big blue dick. And it's actually Will Smith's cock, which is crazy to me.
They actually had to make it smaller.
But no, anyways, we watched that, and it was okay. I mean, I like Maggie Gyllenhaal in most of the stuff that she's been in.
Wait, you watched the trailer before you saw it? What? Isn't it a Netflix movie?
Yeah.
I think he means like the Netflix thing that plays.
I remember seeing the trailer, and it was like, oh, trailer for a new Maggie Gyllenhaal movie, and I was like, eh. But then I watched the trailer, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of want to watch this. But then when I watched the movie, I was like, oh, I already know pretty much exactly what's going to happen. Spoilers going in, but basically it's about Maggie Gyllenhaal. She's a kindergarten teacher, and she has this kid that is he recites poetry, and she's like a failed poet. And I don't know, all the crazy shit that happens in the trailer, if you've seen the trailer, like that's pretty much the movie. That's the crazy shit that happens in the movie, which was kind of a bummer. And then I felt like at the end, I don't know, maybe Gabe can see how he feels about it, but I felt like it just kind of ended, and it felt kind of anticlimactic.
Is it a coming-of-age story, or is it like a comedy?
It's more so...
Definitely not a comedy.
It's a character study of a type of person, I would say, that Maggie Gyllenhaal plays in the movie, where she is, kind of like Evan said, I wouldn't say so much as I don't think we have a lot of evidence that she's a failed poet. Oh, no, she did try to get something published in the beginning of the movie, right? She said she mentioned something to her husband
about publishing a book.
Either publishing, but she's more so this person that considers herself very cultured and very artistic, and then
poet.
But
got him.
But she's
throwing
actually a
shots
part of
at my
poetry
poet
class.
boys.
Sorry, she's actually a student in a poetry class, and none of her stuff is ever good. Like nobody cares about it.
So it's kind of like she never got her due, and now she's putting all of the pressure onto this kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And at the end, he graduates kindergarten, and
yep, and everything's
she hands him his baby diploma. That's cool. It sounds like a comedy or something, but it's
okay.
not.
Then I'm not painting in the right light. She gets really creepy with the kid, like
sexual.
No,
Oh.
It almost like, I don't know. I guess like maybe you feel like it's gonna have vibes like that, but it doesn't really happen like that. She's just like obsessed.
Sexual
with this kid.
vibes, or like she's gonna kill.
Like it almost feels like she's being weird with him, but she's mainly just obsessed with like his talent
Oh,
because
that's
he
weird.
just like literally just the kid almost goes into a trance and recites poems that he writes, and then she kind of just starts to exploit him, like she at one point in the movie she actually gives him her personal cell phone number, and because he's got like this emergency phone because he's got a rich dad that doesn't really watch him, so he's got a nanny that watches him, and so he's got a cell phone for like, oh, if you need to call me, there's an emergency phone, and she like programs her
A lot
number
of
in his
late night
phone.
calls,
That's kind
whispering
of
sweet nothings into the.
sweet poems. That's what I kind of liked about the movie is it gets like progressively more fucked up, like the lines that she crosses as a teacher, and just as an adult interacting with a kid. It never really feels like weird in a sexual way, but I don't know.
It could have gone there.
It definitely could. There probably was another draft of the script based off of, I don't know, some of the scenes you were like,
It was originally going to be directed by Bryan Singer, which I think is
Yikes!
folks,
And he wanted
Oscar
to play Maggie
nominated.
Gyllenhaal.
But there's one line in there where she says something like, he's a genius. She thinks he's like a contemporary, like Mozart or something like that. And she's like, when Mozart was a kid, they used to massage his fingers and feed him grapes. And you're like, huh? Wait, isn't this kid like 6, dude? Wait, what the fuck, man?
That's weird.
But that's what I liked about the movie is like it progressively, it definitely like gets more and more fucked up as it goes along. And you're like, oh, this is cool. And then I kept waiting to see shit that I hadn't already seen.
It sounds like another movie. I can't think of it, but it sounds like another, like it's been made before.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Just like replace poems with fucking baseball or something. Like, I've never seen a boy hit a T-ball like that before. Yeah. The soundtrack was curated by CCR.
Yeah.
That's cool. That sounds all right.
Yeah, it just feels it's a bummer if you've seen the trailer. I feel like because I felt like
It wasn't boring at all. Sounds like a boring movie.
maybe in some parts, but I didn't really feel. I don't know. It was kind of interesting seeing.
They
the
kept
fucked up
the,
shit that she does.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think that I'm a changed person for having watched it. And
Right.
It's pretty. I don't know. It's kind of underwhelming.
Maggie Gyllenhaal is always a hard sell for me for some reason.
Yeah. I
there's-
really like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
After
is-
Prisoners, I was like,
is-
dude,
he's
this guy's cool. He went
makes
from
murder
Prince of...
music in movies, dude.
Yeah.
But
He's great.
After Prince of Persia, I was sold. I was like...
was he in Boy in the Bubble too?
Yeah, Bubble Boy, yeah.
Bubble Boy, that's right.
All right, cool. I saw on the plane, I had a fucking long ass... Are we not cussing anymore? Okay, I don't know. I had a long plane ride a couple days ago, and so I saw... And they had a bunch of movies, so I have a bunch of movies lined up. Maybe I'll save some. But I saw Incredibles 1 and 2 back-to-back. You... Just to, put it out there, you're never going to meet a bigger Pixar fan than this. No, I'm joking. But I do like The Incredibles. I like the second one more.
You like the second one more than the first one?
Yeah. Which maybe it's just because it's new, and I remember seeing Incredibles like a long-ass time ago. And it's weird seeing them back-to-back because it starts off, not a spoiler, it starts off exactly where the first one ends.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
With I'm the Underminer, where the guy comes.
Yeah.
And they redo a lot of the scenes, and it's so the fucking graphics, special effects, whatever.
Yeah,
The
technology
is insane, and it's weird rewatching Incredibles because the first one because you're like, you remember it looking so nice, like the hair and everything looks good, but then on a rewatch, especially behind this movie, I was like, wow, it's kind of aged.
Yeah,
like it looks way better. I don't know, it's a fun movie.
That's interesting to point out with Pixar movies too, is because I rewatched Toy Story recently, the original one, and I feel like their animation was so ahead of its time that it definitely holds up. And I'm like, this still looks fucking dope.
Right.
But then watching the trailer for Toy Story 4 for the newest one.
Totally
this
unnecessary.
I almost don't like how HD they're making it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, continue. Yeah, neither of us have actually seen the second Incredibles movie yet, but I've heard it's good from everybody.
It's fun.
That's the running gag for this podcast, I feel like, is that none of us all see the movies that we talk about. Other than the last one, it seems like. It's just, we all kind of just...
It's funny. I don't know. It's cute for like a animated movie that's mainstream. I don't know. Full screws. It's a good late night. You don't have work tomorrow. There's nothing on. You smoke too much weed and you're freaking out. Oh, do you guys have another one? I want to do 2 more, I think, and then I'll just save the rest because
I give Kindergarten Teacher 3 to 5 screws.
Out of
full screws.
3 out of 5 screws.
3 to 5 screws.
Okay.
Did you watch the Bandersnatch?
No.
Oh.
I have not seen the Bandersnatch yet. I heard it was good, or like
Yeah.
fun to watch.
It's definitely fun.
Yeah, it is very fun.
It's the thing about, I feel like, I don't know, I can't really think of another movie that has done it before. So even if you don't like the content, I feel like it's cool that Netflix is trying new things like that, like interactive stuff. And I don't know, it just felt cool. It felt really interesting. I like stuff like that though, like Choose Your Own Adventure. Like,
did it feel like a gimmick, like 3D, or do you feel like this could be implemented, maybe with VR at some point, and it could be like a video game / movie / Choose Your Own Adventure?
That's another thing. It's hard to define it as a movie. A lot of people were calling it a video game and said that they played it instead of watching it. It definitely does feel a lot more like a really HD Telltale game than it does like watching a movie. So it's kind of riding that line, I think. I don't know. I think I don't know that it's going to be a reoccurring, like a lot of movies are going to do it.
But with a service like Netflix, I mean, they're the perfect thing to have something like that made. You can't do that in theaters.
Yeah.
No,
Everyone, there's a remote under your seat. Press left. Okay,
it's
so
like Twitch plays Pokemon. It just like takes all the input.
But it was good. I mean, I think it was all the characters I thought did a really good job. And it was just fun. It was cool.
Was it a horror movie? Or was it like
I think it's Black Mirror.
It's Black Mirror, yeah.
It's kind of fucked, It's very dark. Kind of sad. Pretty sad. Yeah, a lot of the endings are sad. I don't know that there's necessarily a happy ending. The best ending... Well, spoilers.
Well,
the best
I want to
ending,
watch it, so don't spoil it.
The best ending that you can get without saying too much is at the end of every ending, they give the game a rating.
The game.
He's working on a game.
Yeah.
And you can get a full 5 out of 5 rating.
Oh.
But I don't know. I think different people have different interpretations on what their favorite ending will be. So I don't know that there's a good ending or a bad ending.
Okay. I'm very interested. I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet.
The main character is a video game designer.
Oh,
and
okay.
So the movie's
and
about
it's the
him
video game
making a Choose Your Own Adventure video game.
Called The Bandersnatch.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little... There's some pretty meta parts in the...
And he looking at the camera?
No.
Oh.
Not from what I remember.
Any 11 and Godzilla 2.
Has a very ponderous look, as if he's trying to remember.
There was, but maybe there wasn't. I felt like there was one scene, but maybe I'm wrong. But it was good. It's
cool.
It's dope. I gave it full screws.
I'm surprised I haven't watched it yet. Do you have one, Gabe?
I could talk about Leave No Trace.
Oh yeah, I wanted to hear about. I saw that on the top of a bunch of people's favorite movies lists of 2018.
It was good, and you know what? It was surprising because the movie Ben Foster plays the dad, and I can't remember the actress that plays the girl, but it's about this guy and his daughter that live. I'll just tell you what I knew going in so you guys could still watch if you wanted to. But like basically it's this guy and his daughter that live on the outskirts of a national park in Oregon illegally. And so they kind of have like this campsite set up basically. And it's about them like just like trying to stay hidden. And I kind of thought like I had no idea what the movie was about, so I was hoping it was like almost like maybe a drama or thriller, but it's not. It's not really
there's
like
a reason that they're
crazy
off the grid.
Yeah, there is a reason.
Oh, okay.
But that's not the crux. It's more of like a coming of age for
kinda, yeah, because it's more like the movie's very much about the experience, you know, where it's like, it's more so like you're watching the movie to experience what the characters are experiencing as they're experiencing it, and things unfold as you're watching it. But the movie is actually PG, which is like it's the first time that
PG.
Yeah,
not even That's I don't remember the last.
There's no like.
Does it feel like a PG movie, like in a sense that it felt like it's kind of catering towards a younger audience, or there just isn't subject matter that?
No, that's actually what I was gonna say. It just doesn't have the subject matter. There's just no.
That's hard to do.
Happens where there's no interest. Like there's no. Scenarios in which there is like intense violence or language or different things like that. It's just this kind of like, I don't know, character drama about this guy and his daughter and their relationship together, and like kind of shows off some of the like beautiful green of like the, you know, Pacific Northwest. But I would say that the movie it comes very close to being boring, but it's not quite.
That's a hard.
Yeah, it's good, and like there's a lot of technical skill. The acting's really good. The cinematography is really good.
Ben Foster's one of my favorite actors right now.
I love Ben Foster.
Yeah, he's one of those. If he's in a movie, I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah,
I mean, after Warcraft, I was sold. Similar with I call it the Gyllenhaal effect. But then again, actually, he does do a great job in Warcraft. Like even as a joke, it's like he's one of those guys who kind of just gives it all he can.
I was gonna say he's like a working class actor, you know, where it's like I don't feel like. I mean, he's definitely recently. It seems like he's gotten a lot bigger too, but I don't think that he is what kind of like the elite would classify as an A-list actor. Like he's not like at the helm of all of his movies, like kind of like the Brad Pitts of the world.
Right.
But
he's
usually he's like, I mean, because he almost was like a character actor for a while, you know. He was like the guy that was like, oh, that's the guy from 3:10 to Yuma, or that's the guy from 30 Days of Night. But then, like, you know, eventually, he is Ben Foster, you know. I feel like people know his name, but still, it's almost like, I feel like he's a great actor without, I feel like, the ego that comes with, you know. It's not like watching Will Smith in a movie where I watch a Will Smith movie, it's like, yeah, I'm watching Will Smith. Ben Foster is good enough and not huge enough that
Disney really fucked up. They should have named it Genie.
Yep.
I'll be saying that till the day I die.
I love how in
Big
the trailer
Dick Genie.
And it's important to point out that I don't think it's star power that affects your ability to look past your suspension of disbelief. Like when you say you see Will Smith in a movie and you see Will Smith and can't get over that's Will Smith. I don't think that's because of his fame. I think that's his job as an actor to combat that. It's like Christian Bale. Like most of Christian Bale's movies, I can get lost in the performance, and he's like, you know, a superstar, and I think that just shows like his acting chops, you know.
I agree and I disagree, because I think that what also plays a factor in it. I mean, and part of their celebrity does play into account, because one of the reasons I feel like I can't not see Will Smith is because his face is always on the cover of magazines and he's like in commercials and shit like that, which is like, you know, good for him. I'm not going to disrespect his hustle, but it's just like, I'm constantly seeing Will Smith the person, and so
he's become more of a mogul and less of an actor.
Yeah, that's
kind of like
a YouTuber too.
But I mean, at the same time, Leonardo DiCaprio, arguably one of the biggest actors. The
performance just has to be so good that people.
But he's not a public figure, though. You know,
Leonardo DiCaprio?
As much as these people are. I
mean, he's pretty like politically active.
He doesn't do a ton of interviews. He doesn't have like any weird reality shows. You know, he's like
who's that one actor who like doesn't do any interviews, and like he recently did one. Shit, maybe I shouldn't have brought it up because I don't know.
Kevin Spacey used to be pretty personal about his private life.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
You guys know he's gay? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I heard.
How has he been doing? I haven't looked up any Kevin Spacey news in like the last 2 years. I wonder how he's doing. When's his new movie coming
Last
out?
Kevin Spacey news I had was K-Pax, so somebody catch me up.
Right, yeah.
After
time I heard
Usual
about Kevin
Suspects,
Spacey
I was
One
sold.
of my buddies, who's kind of like a younger, like 16-year-old twink, said that he was going to hang out with Kevin Spacey in like a platonic way, and I haven't heard from him since. But I wonder how that went.
I always heard he was like a great mentor.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
private
very
acting
straight,
lessons.
too.
All right, this is a tangent, but it kind of has to do with Kevin Spacey. Overrated as hell. Overrated as hell. And I rewatched another of the director's movies, and I'm like, just to make sure it's not just a fluke. Overrated as hell. One more time, folks. Okay. Baby Driver. Did you guys like that movie?
I liked it, but I feel like you could make the argument that it's overrated. Yeah.
I legitimately don't like it.
With that movie, when I first watched it, I wanted to like it more because people were talking about it so much. But there are a handful of really good parts. Like watching it, it's like that was solid, that was solid, that was solid. But overall, I was a little underwhelmed.
Once they killed Jamie. Spoilers. Whatever. Who
I was
cares?
gonna say just real quick. I saw actually saw that movie at a drive-in, and we watched Baby Driver and then Spider-Man: Homecoming, and I like Spider-Man: Homecoming more than Baby Driver.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
The one I rewatched was Hot Fuzz, and that movie is perfect.
Oh, okay. I thought. Yeah.
No. That movie is
Wait a minute.
That and Shaun of the Dead are a double whammy that are like. No matter what he does after that, it's like, that's fine.
Even at World's End, like, watch that again.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Baby Driver. If it would have been Simon Pegg in that driver's seat, A+.
Honestly, yeah. Once they kill, hopefully you didn't hear what I said earlier, my favorite character in that movie, I was like, dude, this is shit. I hate the main character. He's annoying. He's not cool and like he's just a dude.
Yeah.
The music is trash. The whole point of like a movie like this is that the music is like matches what's going on. It's cool. They pull out a tequila.
Yeah, definitely my least favorite song choice
during a shootout.
Was the tequila. I was like, I get what they were going for, but it just didn't work for me. That scene particularly.
And then, the fucking ending, the love story. It's just rolled my. I should have liked that movie so much. It's totally, it's just a worse drive, honestly.
Yeah, I liked it when I watched it, but it's like Pacific Rim, like you watch it and then I don't really have any interest in watching it again. But it was fun to see in the theaters. You know? I like the driving scenes. I like cool driving scenes.
I thought there would be more.
Yeah.
I liked John Hamm quite a bit. Like just because I like him as an actor.
Jamie Foxx, I think, was the best part of that movie. And honestly, Kevin Spacey is a good actor, so I kind of liked him too. But
it's okay to say that he's a good actor. He's not a good person. He's a good actor, though. I think he could have been replaced, and that's like one of my kind of what I use is my personal criteria for like if somebody's right for the role is like, could you see somebody else doing it? And if you can't, then it's like they really nailed it.
Yeah, that's fair.
For Kevin Spacey's role now, you just need just any sort of man that could come across as like powerful, intimidating.
But is that the problem with his performance or with the way that the character is written?
It could be both. I mean, I don't know.
I personally think he nailed it. I think he pinned it down and just nailed it.
Yeah, he reached his hand down and he grabbed that part, dude. Whether the part wanted it or not, that got a little graphic, huh? Anyways.
All right, I got one. I'll just do one more. I saw the Sisters Brothers.
What is that? I have no idea what that is.
It's a Western. You've heard of
it. I want to know how this is because I really wanted to see it.
It was a Western with Joaquin Phoenix and what's his Will Ferrell's buddy?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
It's Walk Hard meets Walk the Line.
Nice.
Thank you.
Wait, I'm down.
And they play the Sisters Brothers, which are kind of like two outlaw / bounty hunter / troublemakers. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix plays the wild one, and John C. Reilly plays the one who is a little apprehensive about doing all this for so long because they're reaching their golden years or what bronze fucking whatever the saying goes. They're old.
The metal.
They're old.
Joaquin Phoenix is quickly becoming, one of my maybe my favorite actor. He's so good.
He's fucking great.
He's one of those guys who just disappeared. Like I sound like a douche when I say that, but he really does. Like, ever since Gladiator, I was sold. Gyllenhaal effect. But it was good. The tone was a little. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it too, which was a complete surprise. Which
I'm down.
Oh, I forgot about that. So is Creed Bratton from The Office, the old guy Creed.
Really?
Is that his real name, Creed?
Yeah, his name in The Office is his name in real life.
I don't remember.
Creed Bratton.
I don't remember him in that movie. In Sisters Brothers. Is that what you're saying he's in?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's in Sisters Brothers. He's just an old cowboy.
Huh.
So if you remember back, like, who was that old man that was a cowboy? That was probably Creed.
Probably. I liked it a lot. It was. I loved the ending. I'm not gonna get into spoilers. The action was decent. The acting between the brothers is great. You could tell. John C. Reilly's a great actor. And they are totally perfect for those roles. They totally seem like they'd been doing it too long, and their scenes are funny, and it just seems like they've known each other forever. The chemistry's great. Not quite as good as Watson and Holmes or whatever the fuck.
Oof.
Shots fired.
Did you actually watch it?
Holmes and Watson?
Yeah.
No.
No, yeah, fuck that.
I saw the poster of them doing the H.
Yeah.
And they're like all gangster, and I was like, this is bad.
When I heard about it, I literally just heard Reddit movies r/movies buzz Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly are going to be in a Sherlock Holmes movie. And I was like, huh. And then I saw the poster, like you said, and I was like, that doesn't look very. And then I saw the trailer, and I was like, this looks like utter rubbish. If you want to go that way,
detestable.
And then people just talked about how it was insanely bad. Like it was just really, really bad.
Yeah.
100%. There's a point in that movie where they dab or they floss.
Yeah, don't they?
Or they get the epic victory royale.
Okay, Sherlock Holmes meets Fortnite.
Watson needs your help.
Did you guys see? This isn't movie related, but did you see in the Nintendo Direct? There's a new Tetris game that's basically a battle royale.
What?
You play Tetris, and you're playing Tetris at the same time as 100 other people, or 99 other people. So 100 people playing at once. You can see your Tetris screen, like the normal Tetris screen, while you're playing. And then on the side, you see all these little screens of other people playing in real time. You can see where they're at. And when someone loses, it shows up just as a KO. And so basically, last one standing is the best at Tetris. But there's also items that you can use to fuck up other people, when you get them.
Oh my god.
So fucking
Dude,
ridiculous.
Battle Royale is huge. I don't know why it blew up so big. That's such a feels kind of like a niche niche.
I feel like there's, niche.
Such
I feel
a
like
quiche
there are
thing.
people that would love that game, but there's not enough people in the entire world to fill up a single server of that lobby. There's 6 people that are finally the game for me.
Everyone will see how fucking good I am at Tetris. Yeah, Battle Royales, not to get too off on a tangent, but it's just Fortnite. Fortnite did so well. Even PUBG, when it was big, I feel like it was big, but it wasn't big. It wasn't as big or culturally effective as Fortnite is. I knew people that were playing it, but it wasn't crazy. But then Fortnite, once that came out, is free to play. I think it just, and that is definitely the reason why so many battle royales are being made, which is a bummer because it's oh, you guys like Fortnite? You might like all these other games that are different games. But it's the same genre, but they're different games. It's well, maybe I just like this game because it's this game. No, you like Fortnite? What about Fortnite? But it's it's like Call of Duty, but Fortnite. It's no, I don't even like Call of Duty.
To their
I
credit,
just like Fortnite.
To their credit, I would say that
I don't even like Fortnite.
A big reason that it really took off is because it was free, so they tapped into the kid market because it's you don't have to, You know, you have all these kids that literally they're like, oh, I can just download this game, and so a bunch of kids downloaded it, and it's pretty easy to use. But that's on Fortnite's
there's
side.
definitely
They get
a
them
lot
with
of elements to why
the
it's
free.
successful.
Yeah,
But it's
I mean, I'm not trying to. I agree with you. I'm not trying to debate. I'm just saying, like, one of the reasons. I mean, look at Fortnite's biggest audience. It's kids. You know.
Miss
And that's why-
Pac-Man.
Wait, shots fired.
Meets
Shots
Fortnite.
fired. I'm building.
Yeah, literally. That's one of the reasons I stopped playing. 'Cause it's like, dude, I don't want to play a game where a bunch of 8-year-olds are just doming me every time. You know? It's like I don't need to get. I don't
Feels
need.
bad,
My
dude.
ego doesn't need that.
After Fortnite, the Minecraft servers dipped. Let's go back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the 20-somethings go back to Minecraft.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised that there's been a lot. Well, I don't want to get too off track, but a lot of people are talking about Minecraft and how it's quote unquote better than Fortnite and all that.
I never
jazz.
got into either of them. I played a couple things of Fortnite, and I was like, wow, everyone is so good. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
they are.
fun if you get your first kill in, like, 20 minutes.
I mean, I don't know.
Trash at
it
those
sounds kind of
games.
whiny, but that's what I don't like about battle royales is how there is no balance. So like every game, there's at least one person that has over 100 hours, and you're just gonna get fucked. You know, even when you're starting out, you're trying to learn the game. That guy's gonna win. You're gonna get fucked. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you get better, but.
No, not you. You. So
All right.
overall, to get back on topic, how would you kind of rate the
It
Sisters
was.
Brothers?
I loved it, and I'm a big fan of westerns, so I kind of had high expectations. And after I'd seen all the stuff, I'm like, it has to be really good for me to, be.
If you were going to compare it to a Western, what's it similar to, like, tonally?
Shit. It's kind of got a weird tone. Like, it's more comedic than I thought it would be.
Okay.
There's not.
So already it's going to be a little different.
True Grit, the Coen Brothers remake.
Oh, dope.
It's almost the same tone.
Yeah.
Same kind of violence too, where it's like
I'm down.
not bombastic or something. Like
Right.
310 to Yuma has pretty bombastic
Yeah.
action
I fucking love
scenes.
that movie.
That movie's great.
I do too. Same guy who did the Logan movie, James
I didn't know
Mangold.
that.
Mangold.
Yeah.
I just watched that for the first time recently. With
Did
Gabe.
you like it?
I actually really liked it. Yeah.
It's great. Like it's
It
one of
is really
Zahara's favorite movies. Like she freaking loves
It's
it.
really, they're really like, really early on, they want you to know that this is an R-rated Marvel movie, and he's like cutting people up and like, fuck you.
I was just about to say, even before that, it's that Wolverine going, fuck.
Yeah.
looks right at the camera.
I
Take
love-
that, Disney.
It's definitely dark, and I like that. I like Wolverine. Wolverine always felt like a dark character, kind of confined to the PG-13.
To his wheelchair
Marvel films.
and his mind power. Wait, who?
Wait.
What'd you think of that last shot? Did you just fucking start tearing up?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
there's a
spoil
lot-
anything, but
There's a lot of points in the movie where I was just bummed. Just
you know what I'm
straight
talking
bummed.
about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So I'd give Sisters Brothers. The only part I didn't like was there's a weird side story, and about the last half hour is a little. I don't know. It seems like a weird script. It doesn't really go in a good way, but it gets a little bogged down in the last 30 minutes. But then the very end, like the last, I don't know, 10 minutes. I don't know. I'm gonna stop going with fucking time signatures, but the very end is dope.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of got like a little like not choked up, but I was like that hit me a lot harder than I thought. And especially cuz you guys are brothers and you're so close.
We're also sisters.
We're the sisters
We're
brother.
announcing that we're transitioning.
But I think since you
Yikes. Like the Wachowskis.
but I think you guys would really like
Yeah.
not be affected by it, but I
No,
think
I
it'll
mean, I know.
I'm down.
I think I know what you're saying.
Be
I
more
like,
into
I like
the-
a good,
That's how I felt when
heart-to-heart
Gabe
brother
watched
moment.
Hell or High Water. In
It's
theaters,
just like
too.
that.
That movie's fucking dope.
actually yeah, it's a lot like Hell or High Water. But
Like,
anyway.
wait, I was actually just watching Hell or High Water. That was the wrong movie.
Just wonder why they were driving around in cars. No, but yeah, it was good. 4 out of 5 screwies.
I'm down, dude.
Should we get? What are we at right now? Should we get to Spidey?
34.
Oh, okay.
Good time.
you want to do a couple more movies?
Talk about Velvet
Let's talk about Velvet Buzzsaw.
Damn, Gyllenhaal's the star of this cast.
He was great in the movie. I think the first problem I had with Velvet Buzzsaw was when I watched the trailer and I'm like, all right, this is too revealing. That's another movie that it gives away too much. I feel like in the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, you already know what's going to go on.
Why are you watching trailers?
Well, I don't know. It's weird because you want a little bit and you're like, oh, what's this movie going to be about? And then once you got a little bit, it's like you just want a little bit more. It's like I watched the first minute of Jordan Peele's trailer for his new movie. Yeah, and I keep wanting to go back and finish it because I'm like, dude, I want to see that movie. I want the little snippet.
See, I didn't watch it. The only reason I watched the first minute is because Evan's like, you really got to watch this. I was like, okay, I guess. But I told him over and over again, I was like, I don't watch trailers if I already know I want to watch it.
Best part of the trailer.
It's fair.
You want to get crazy? We can get crazy. I love that. That was the little...
I love that.
That was the little bit of humor that mixed perfect, like just like with Get Out. It's that same perfect tone. He's gonna do another out of the park fucking movie with us.
I'm excited, dude.
I mean, it looks so good. Anyway.
But Velvet Buzzsaw, it had a lot of. I had high expectations for it, like pretty high expectations, because it was the same dude that made Nightcrawler, which Gabe and I both loved. Really good movie. And
Dan
Jake
Gilroy.
Gyllenhaal, huh?
Dan Gilroy.
Dan Gilroy, yeah.
I liked it all right.
Jake Gyllenhaal obviously is like phenomenal in almost everything that he's in, and so I was stoked. The trailer got me stoked, even if I felt like it gave a little bit too much away. And I don't know, I watched it and I enjoyed it for the most part, but then just reading some of the reviews, I don't know, it's like the same thing that happened to me with Man of Steel. Like when I watched it, I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. But then reading the reviews, I was like, yeah, and just the things that people pointed out that were wrong with it and where it could have gone and what it could have been, it just made me increasingly depressed.
I've been trying to... Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I've been trying to watch less reviews for stuff because I've been noticing that happens to me. I'm so susceptible to people's opinions that are...
After you watched the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just... Anyway.
Oh, I was just going to say that... I think that the best criticism for Velvet Buzzsaw is kind of what you said, is that it could have been different. Rather, I should say that it had a lot of potential, I think, and it felt like it started to do two different things, and it didn't do either of them well. And so I think that...
Ooh.
I know, sorry, because you haven't seen it and you seem stoked, but...
No, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Nightcrawler, but it did look interesting. I don't really know what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
That's probably the best way to watch it. And you probably will watch it and enjoy it. But it's the trailer gives you, I think, a false sense of what kind of movie it actually is. So if you went in knowing nothing about it, that's probably the best enjoyment that you would get out of it. And the performances, I think, are good.
Yeah.
But ultimately, after watching it, like, I don't know, I wasn't upset. Like, I liked it after I watched it. I liked it less and less the more reviews I read. But ultimately, I was like, I probably could have, like, I probably wouldn't be bummed if I never watched it.
Like, what you're saying is that he didn't pull the trigger, like on... That's what I kind of felt with Nightcrawler. It's like I expected...
Really?
No, I'm not going to get into spoilers for that movie because it's really good, but it didn't go there.
Yeah.
Like there's one part where it's like, oh, that was kind of messed up, but it didn't pull the trigger. He nailed it when he should have screwed it, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes you got to get that drill, dude. Hammer's not going to do it.
The problem with Velvet Buzzsaw, it felt like there was no payoff. Like it felt like it was building towards something. But it was more of like a cataloging a series of events than it was like building and crescendoing to something important happening.
Ooh.
But
we should touch back on it because I feel like there's a lot of conversation. Next time you should watch it, and the next time we get together, we should do like a minor
Netflix. Yeah,
it's on Netflix. We should do a minor part 2 where we just kind of go in depth because I feel like we're trying to be vague because you haven't seen it.
Right.
But the criticisms are still valid. It's just that there's a lot that can be talked about, I think.
There's okay, maybe we could do that at the end of the next one. like at the very end, just a spoiler. But that's like with the. Did you guys see Mother?
No, you
That's-
told me about it, and I didn't watch it just because.
Jennifer Lawrence movie.
Yeah, that's really fuck. That's I hated the movie. I thought it was dumb and a little too on the nose. But one thing I can't say is that it didn't go there. It didn't fucking pull the trigger. They got out the drill, you know.
Yeah.
Well, people left the theater. You said, right?
Yeah, and it's the movie is such a crescendo that's I'd almost prefer a movie like that than a movie that's like not Nightcrawler. Because I do like that movie, but like a movie where it's like this doesn't really matter what's happening right now, and you could make it matter if you up the stake if something happened, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where at the end of Mother, the last 30 minutes is a fucking shit show, literally just a nightmare on the screen.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And it's like at least that happened, you know, even though it's I don't know. I'd rather have that than a boring movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Velvet Buzzsaw is it's like it wasn't boring, but it ended up just kind of feeling pointless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Like I was interested throughout, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. What is this gonna be?" And really just nothing. And they're just like, "Yeah, see you later."
It turns out the saw was just red, you know. It wasn't blood. Ketchup.
It's actually Velvet Buzzsaw. There's a guy named Buzz. It's like, oh shit, I see it.
Dick
Actually,
Gyllenhaal does a great job, though.
It's a Buzz Aldrin biopic. What should we get to the? Should I do one more movie?
Sure, we got time.
I'll do
As a side note, on the next one, my girlfriend and I are watching. We just watched Unbreakable last night, and then today we're gonna watch Split, and tomorrow we're gonna go
Ooh.
see Glass. So kind of like the Avengers build up of the Shyamalan universe.
Just real quick,
Mark
Can we-
Wahlberg comes in with an eye patch.
can we get a fucking return of like sensitive Bruce Willis, like 12 Monkeys, Unbreakable Bruce Willis,
Yeah.
where he like he just looks sad all the time instead of like
He's great in Unbreakable.
Instead of Red 2.
yeah, exactly. He can be a very emotional guy when he wants to be, you know, very sensitive. Anyway, go ahead.
Have you seen Unbreakable or before? Is this the first time you'd
Gabe
seen
and I
it?
watched it when we were younger, and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Watching it again, I still really like it, but it's got like Shyamalan That's just a hard tongue twister that I chose for those two words. Shyamalan elements that I'm like, I don't know if I like that. I feel like the ending I liked, but it felt like it came on kind of abruptly. And it does that 80s thing where it will freeze frame and put words up on the screen.
Yeah.
And you're like, I forgot that was a trend, you know?
I
But
remember it
I
being
liked
kind of boring.
David Dunn went on to win the big race and save the rec center.
It's one of those. It's one of those movies where I think it's better to know less about it going into it, because if you know a little bit about, oh, whoa, that's interesting, and you expect it to be a certain thing, which is why, like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about Glass, because I definitely have like I expect it to be a certain way, but it's probably not going to meet my expectations.
It looks good. I kind of like how it's not. It doesn't look. I'm not gonna say bombastic again. I need a fucking better word. It looks almost like an earlier M. Night Shyamalan movie where the budget isn't big.
Yeah,
He's one of those directors who works better on a smaller budget, I think.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, I've just seen the trailer, but it didn't seem like they go places or there's no crazy effects. It looks like kind of a contained movie, which I think could probably be better. Unbreakable was more psychological anyway.
What's going to be crazy to me is I feel like I haven't seen Split yet, but just like imagining like the tone of Split and Unbreakable, they're two completely different movies, and then I have no idea what the tone is going to be for Glass. It's probably going to be more like Unbreakable than it is like Split.
Probably.
You know what's interesting is not only are they two completely different movies, but they were made by two completely different production companies that actually. So Buena Vista did Unbreakable, which is it's owned by Disney, and then I think it was Universal did Split, and M. Night Shyamalan literally just asked both of them like, "Hey, I know you guys both own these movies technically. He's like, but is there any way that I could like make this movie and combine the universes, and then you guys can just split it? And they're both like, yeah, sure.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. That's funny.
And they could just what? They could just what it?
They can split it.
Nice.
And that's a wrap, folks.
Shit. Was I doing another one?
Yeah.
Or was that it?
Oh, you were going to. You were pulling up your phone, but then I started talking about Unbreakable.
Oh, I could talk about The Master a little bit. Have you guys seen The Master?
Is that
Are you talking
Thomas
about
Anderson?
Yeah.
With
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
Philip
one of my
Seymour
favorite Paul
Hoffman.
Thomas Anderson movies.
Yeah, I saw it a long time. Well, not a long time ago. Whenever it came out, I saw it.
Yeah.
And it's on Netflix, and I watched like an hour last night before I went to bed because it's a fuck long movie. But holy shit, dude! That I don't know if it won anything that year, but like the cinematography, it looks gorgeous. Every shot is insane. I get why it's your favorite.
It looks like you're looking at a picture of the time period.
Yeah.
You know? It's actually Paul Thomas Anderson's favorite of his movies.
That makes sense. It seems like he gave so much shit about it. Like compared to, I haven't seen Inherent Vice, but
yeah,
it just looked like this movie is just great. Like, shot so amazingly well. The acting is two powerhouses, fucking Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman at being drunk and crazy.
I was gonna say they're both crazy in different ways, though.
Yeah.
One's like a wild crazy, and the other one's like a systematic crazy.
Yeah,
you know.
And, who else is in that? Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. She's great, but she's one of those chicks.
Jesse Plemons, Meth Damon.
Meth Damon, yeah.
Oh yeah.
As Phil Seymour Hoffman's son.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan, by the way.
When you disrespect the dead.
Amy Adams is not a. I don't know why, but she kind of bores me a little bit. Like, she's a great actress. She's kind of like a Meryl Streep, where she's a great actress, but I don't know.
Probably just the I don't know, like the roles that she gets, like Man of Steel. You're like, oh, generic love interest. Interesting.
Or like Arrival, and I love Arrival.
Oh shit, I still haven't seen Arrival.
Seriously?
Great.
Yeah.
Arrival's. I think I was talking about this with my girlfriend, and I think.
You know what's weird is part of me when a lot of people start talking about how good a movie is, I'm like, it worries me that I will have too high of expectations for it and I'll end up being disappointed.
Yeah.
It
sucks,
like,
but you should watch it.
Yeah.
But I was talking to my girlfriend. We were on like a trip, and we were just listening to like movie podcasts while we were driving, and they were talking about Prisoners, and I was like thinking about all the movies Denis Villeneuve has made, and I think he's probably my favorite director. Like Sicario,
right?
Was great.
Sicario's great.
Probably my least favorite of his, beside Enemy. Enemy's fine.
Enemy's
Sicario's great. Freaking Prisoners is great. Arrival's great. I'm forgetting one. Blade Runner, and then I think I'm forgetting another one. Prisoners, whatever. But all of them are so well made. Prisoners is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Blade Runner, it's too early, but probably same. Like,
we're living in a time where it's like the Martin Scorsese's of our time. Like, we're seeing their films come out, the ones that are going to be talked about for a while, I feel like. And he's probably one of those directors where people will look back and like, damn.
He's just on such a hot streak. Like,
yeah.
Arrival's the one I was forgetting.
You said Arrival.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's 6.
He's
Whatever.
also making the new Dune movie.
Yeah, and that's going to be great. He's
Dune?
just on a crazy roll.
Dune,
yeah.
like the video game?
Dune.
Oh.
Yeah,
hell
Dune.
yeah.
And guess who's coming back? The Rock. That would be hilarious. Anyway.
The streak has ended.
So, we don't... shit.
Master.
I keep forgetting. Oh, The Master. Okay, anyway. I haven't finished it yet for the second time, so... But I know how it ends. But it's just... I forgot how good it was. Mm-hmm. And it's totally like a film snob movie.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. I'm not saying it's not. It's just like I feel film snobby with how much I'm gushing over it while I'm watching it.
And
'Cause
there's
I'm
so
like,
many shots in there too. Like when they're sitting and they're having a smoke, you know, that's like, this is film school.
yeah, it feels film schooly,
Yeah.
where everything is just so precise. The acting is amazing. The only thing I'm not thrilled about is the story's a little one of those stories that don't really
Kinda
matter.
weird.
Yeah, the story is kind of simple.
It's kind of just something that's happening. It's not like a redemption. Well, I mean, kind of, but not really. Or it's not a revenge. It's not a coming of age type deal. It's just this dude on a crazy, weird, twisted tale. Anyway.
Yeah.
God, I fucking suck. All right. Do you guys want to get to Spidey?
Spider-Man. Spider-Man. All right. I thought we were gonna do like a group, Spider-Man sing along. Anyways, yes, the Spiderverse, the new Spider-Man animated film. I was pretty biased going into it because I love Spider-Man. I've got a big old Spider-Man poster that hangs above my bed that I fall asleep to every night.
There's a Spider-Man poster right in front of you,
There's
and you're wearing a Spider-Man shirt.
Yes, this is all true.
I was gonna say, none of this is jokes. This is all.
Yeah, we can have you guys talk about it first. We'll go in order of like type to most biased, overhyped Spider-Man fan.
Okay, start with me. I fucking hated it.
And we're breaking up. That's the end of the podcast.
Wait, what?
This is the end. This is the end of the Sisters Brothers podcast.
But the band. I'll start. Why not? But I really like it though. It is actually. I think that it's probably and I know this kind of sucks to say because it did just come out, but it's probably my favorite way I've seen Spider-Man on film so far, like portrayed. Anyways, because like. I don't know. I guess we should. I'm trying to start overall, like overarching, and then maybe we can go into the specifics. But I would say that I definitely have an idea of kind of what a superhero should be like growing up, like loving the superhero mythos. Like big comic book fan, big cartoon fan, movie fan, and
Big
I feel like
fan.
What's that?
Big hentai fan.
That's true. The best heroes. But I feel like he really embodies kind of that, like
Who, Miles? Or wait, who are you talking about?
yeah.
Oh,
Spider-Man. I don't know, Spider-Boy. The young one. Spider the younger. I feel like he's just a really good Spider-Man, and it's like he was very interesting to watch, but like not even just talking about that, like the animation was insane.
Animation was great.
insane. It looked better than like
insane.
Pixar shit.
And then a lot of the other characters were really good too. And the thing is, it's like I could see kids taking a lot away from it, but at the same time, I took a lot away from it. It's like I think it was just honestly probably one of the best family movies I've seen, because if I were to have a kid that was of age to go see it, I would be so stoked to take him there.
Oh yeah.
And like actually one of like when we were done watching it, it was a really good movie. I was like, dude, we should take our dad to go see it, which we haven't done because I'm a shitty son, but I had that thought.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like, kind of a tangent, but with children's movies, that when you do eventually have a kid, that you're gonna be kind of snobby about what movies you take him to? Like,
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, Dad, I want to go see Madagascar 7. Like, there's no fucking way in hell we're gonna go see Madagascar 7.
I was gonna say, I feel like
Get back in your fucking room and lock the door.
I feel like that's how it'd be, but that's coming from somebody that has zero parental experience.
Yeah.
So I have no idea how it actually be, because like once you have the kid, obviously everything's gonna be different. I'm sure I probably would buckle and be like, yeah, sure, let's go see this fucking movie about a talking rabbit. But in my head, as of right now, as a a guy that has no fucking,
As a lover of Citizen Kane,
yeah.
how can I justify?
Citizen Kane is, I have no room for love or children because that movie takes up all of my energy.
He's gonna have little props above his bassinet, your kid, of Citizen Kane. Oh, fucking God. All right. Yeah. Should I take over? I'll say that this is probably the best Spider-Man movie. I like Spider-Man 2 a lot. Because Doc Ock is fucking dope, and it's right in between Tobey Maguire being like new Spider-Man, which is fine, and like Spider-Man 3, which sucked. I didn't like the Amazing Spider-Mans. I didn't really like Welcome Home.
Homecoming?
Spidey, yeah. I didn't really like that one.
He's just so like young, or at least young seeming.
Yeah,
I don't really. I get why he's a great Spider-Man. He just is annoying to me.
I
don't
like
know
him
why.
as Spider-Man, but I almost dislike every other character as their character choices. Like Aunt May is way too young and way too sexy. Mary Jane is just she's fucking annoying, dude. Mary Jane is annoying. She's like
that scene where like they're at this party and she's like, oh fuck, I forgot the scene, but I was like looked at.
Oh hello, she's like, what is it? You're gonna come at me with the patriarchy and and it's like, yeah, we get it. You're hip and you're edgy and you know what millennials are talking about. Like you don't have to write characters as unlikable. Lovable characters as unlikable.
Or the thing she says is like, I hate parties, and I was just like, they go fucking home. I hate characters who are just
at a party.
Fucking
That's what I don't like.
downers.
And it's nobody's fault but the writer's fault. It's like they wrote a character that I feel like is very unlikable. Like I'd like his kind of like his dumpy sidekick, like the fat comic relief guy. But it's like the Mary Jane.
I mean,
I hate
the
Aunt
movie
May,
makes jokes about him.
Marissa Tomei. Is that
Tomei.
Too sexy to be Aunt May. Like Aunt May's supposed to be old as fuck.
Fucking Desperate Housewives.
Michael Keaton was great.
Michael Keaton is great.
Desperate Housewives.
The guy that they got to play Flash is like some like 13-year-old. The guy that plays Flash Thompson, who is supposed to be the bully of Peter Parker. Supposed to be a jock. He's like a 13-year-old. I
was gonna say he's not that fast.
I knew he was gonna say Indian, and he didn't have to, but I knew he was gonna throw that out there.
I'm trying to be specific. That's not what I didn't like about it.
The dumpy Asian friend.
Yeah.
It's just they completely rewrote a lot of the characters, which is cool in some ways, but I don't know. Like if they would, I don't care that they changed the character of Mary Jane. I just don't like that they made her unlikable, you know? And I don't like that they made Flash, he's supposed to be a bully, but he's like...
I liked Spider-Man's girlfriend, or the chick that he asked out. I was like, originally, Michael Keaton's daughter. I was like, she's kind of boring, but she's not an idiot. She's not a fucking downer in every scene and being weird towards Peter. I don't know. But, so yeah, all of those were pretty whatever. I love the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, but anything after that, I was like, whatever.
That is something I forgot to say, is that like, I was saying this is probably my favorite way I've seen Spider-Man, but Spider-Man 2 is like, fucking, that's not going anywhere. You
it holds
can't
up.
touch Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it's really, and it like packs an emotional punch. All right, but the Spiderverse I liked. I have two big problems with it, but for the most part, like the visual effects great. I liked the main character. I loved the voice acting.
Me too. I loved all the choices.
The whole Spiderverse thing collapsing. I thought that was a genius idea. I loved Spider-Ham. John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Like that was comic relief that didn't annoy me at all. I thought it was hilarious.
I fucking loved one of my favorite casting choices of this year was Nicolas Cage.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Noir Spider-Man.
When he fucking when there's just a scene basically where they're all fighting without getting into it yet. I just wanted to say there's a scene where everybody's kind of fighting and he fucking like puts a hat over the dude he's fighting and he just fucking clocks him and calls him a turtle slapper. I was like, this is the best fucking possible timeline I could be living in right now, dude.
That was my favorite Spider-Man. Like, who's your favorite Spider-Man out of the group? Because he was Noir Spider-Man, I think.
Spider-Man Noir, yeah.
And he gets the Rubik's Cube, and I don't know. I thought that was a great little...
Who does the voice of Peter Parker?
The dumpy one?
Yeah.
Jake Johnson? Or Jake...
He's the guy in The New Girl.
Yeah, it's Jake something, but I want to say Jake Johnson.
Oh, that guy.
He did a good job, but I don't really know anything. I don't watch The New Girl,
he basically,
folks.
like, the roles he plays in real life are like...
It looks like he could be Oscar Isaac's younger brother.
Yeah.
Like Oscar Isaac's, like, funnier, not as pretty younger brother. You know? Like, when you have, like, a jock dude that's, like, an Adonis, and then he has a funny younger brother, you know?
Yeah. You know, I got it when you said it.
Because I'm like the Adonis, and you're like the goofy comic relief. You got this big, sexy swimmer's body. Like, it is Jake Johnson, by the way.
Jake Johnson.
That's I'm actually really funny, and I don't make bad jokes. That was all like to fill out the air while I was looking up Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson did a great job as Peter Parker. I love that. Have you heard the theories that people say that about how the kind of like dumpy Peter Parker is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? Have you heard people talk about it?
What do you mean?
I think it's almost
basically
true.
headcanon that Spider-Man is the same Spider-Man from the Tobey Maguire
Well, because
movies.
they're both owned by Sony, and then also
Well, not only that, but there's that scene.
Yeah.
This is very early on in the movie, but the scene where he's like, "I'm Peter Parker. You might know me as Spider-Man," and he's going through all the stuff that he's done, and it shows him doing the train thing from the Spider-Man movies.
and not only when he stops the train, but being carried.
Yeah, but being carried, and it shows him doing the snap thing, referencing
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3.
Oh right. Oh, that's totally what happened. Oh whoa,
Which I
that's
like.
cool.
I like that a lot.
Oh whoa. I don't know why that. See, if this movie wasn't as good as it was, I'd be like, fucking nerds. No, but I was actually like, holy shit. I like how. Okay. Anyway, so overall, I liked it. Two big problems, but I'll get to that later. What about you?
Yeah, no, I loved it. Pretty much everything about it, and I had pretty high expectations going in. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Everyone kept gassing it up before I went to go see it, all the reviews that I saw. But yeah, it's just same as Gabe. I like the animation a lot, like very comic book-y, especially in like certain scenes. I think they did a really good job with that. The soundtrack was cool. I really like Miles Morales as Spider-Man. I think he's really cool. Miles Morales is like, I don't know, because it seems like it's basically just like a fan of Spider-Man becoming Spider-Man, and I don't know, he's just a cool kid. I think he's really cool. But yeah, I mean, like the story was cool. The voice acting was great. Just the action, like, I mean, that's one of the main reasons why people like comic books, or at least I do in comic book movies. It's like the fight scenes and the action, and I think all of that was really well done.
They utilized Spider-Man's on all of the Spider-Man's powers, like really, like shit they couldn't do in movies.
Right.
They just made it slicker and like, oh, Spider-Man actually is fast and fucking the Spidey sense with the little lightning bolts. Yeah,
All
the
fight
action was
scenes
great.
I thought were really cool. I love this scene where he's like stuck to, I don't remember exactly, he's like stuck to a train or something, or a car, and like getting dragged.
Yeah, it was a train.
I really liked the cartoony sort of character design for the Kingpin, how he's just this massive like dude in a tuxedo, and he's got this tiny head.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Wait, that's not the Despicable Me guy? I thought it was a crossover.
So should we switch it into spoiler territory? Talk about the finer details?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm
not going to talk about... Okay.
I want to get to the stuff that you don't like.
Yeah.
Okay, my two big problems with it was I hated the soundtrack and the final battle. So this is spoilers. After everyone gets put back in their own interdimensional thing, I lost like a lot of interest in what was happening. Like,
okay, that's fair.
Like the final battle, it's like really another fight with like punching against Kingpin. Yeah. It's like it was so much cool when it was a big battle and all of them had their own turtle slapper and then the mallet. Yeah. It'll fit in your pocket. The second they disappear, I was like, that should have been the end of the movie, because now it's just a fight scene with Kingpin and him, and it just he's throwing buses and it looked kind of cool, but I hated that another movie ended like that. It just, I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. I'm just tired of superhero movies ending with a fight scene like that.
Yeah.
The one cool part of it was when he did the shock and he was like, hey, and he did the, it's like throwback. That was cool. And the music was just too poppy. It brought me out of it a lot. Like the music that was obviously they had hip hop artists and like Post Malone and Sway Lee. They brought them in to make songs and they were at really cool parts. So that's what I'm bummed about, that I was so distracted, because when he like finally gets his outfit and he jumps off and he looks fucking badass and they have that "I'm ready to fly, motherfucker," and it's like I just
Pop, watch motherfuckers drop. It's like,
they
wait.
do drop the N-bomb during the credits. Did you hear that?
Do they?
The song, yeah.
I didn't hear that.
I was like,
And it
Did
was
you hear
Post
that?
Malone too. You're like, what the fuck? he can say that now?
So, just for the sake of conversation, if you weren't a big fan of this soundtrack, how did you feel about like
Black Panther.
Black Panther soundtrack?
well, the album that they released or in the movie?
In the movie.
In the movie, I didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I liked a lot of this. It was curated by Top Dog Entertainment, which is Kendrick's label.
Lamar, yeah.
And I loved the album. Like, I actually listened to a couple songs now. There's some trap bangers. But no, I love the album, but I don't like how it's utilized. I thought it was kind of weird.
Right.
And they only used like 2 or 3 songs. But,
Yeah.
And I didn't really like Black Panther.
Me neither.
And the fact, can we go on a little tangent?
Yeah.
Fucking Black Panther for Best Picture.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
the Oscars are a joke, but
Yeah.
that is unfucking real, dude.
No, yeah, I don't. Yeah, nah.
Is it a bad movie? No. Is it exactly the same as every other Marvel movie?
Yes.
Absolutely. It's just formula. It's the same movie that they keep putting out, and so it's like
That's like nominating fucking Infinity War for Best Picture.
The thing is
Yeah.
they nominated it. I feel like for its cultural importance as opposed to its merit as a film,
Which
and
is
I
bullshit.
disagree with that. But
There's movies that tick both those boxes.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Moonlight.
it's all that has to all be couched with what you said previously. It's just the Oscars are a joke. That's what they are.
Yeah.
You know?
It feels like
Popularity contest.
So
and that
obvious.
was- I mean, what other? How many other superhero movies have been nominated for an Academy Award?
I'm gonna
The
say
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight nominated for Best Picture.
Oh
No.
no, not even like the most recent, because like a lot of Marvel movies get nominated for things like costume
effects.
design, special
Never,
effects.
never for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Oh, for Best Picture? Oh no, well, are you sure Dark Knight?
I'm
The Dark
pretty
Knight
sure.
wasn't. There are definitely movies that deserve superhero movies that deserve
Dark
that
Knight-
over Black Panther.
Right. Dark Knight won an Oscar for Heath Ledger. I don't think it got nominated for Best Picture, though. I could be wrong. That would be cool. I wouldn't even be mad at that.
Exactly. Like if Black Panther is the first superhero movie, it's like this is the one we chose to be nominated for the first superhero movie to be nominated for Best Picture. Really? It's almost like fucking Hillary Clinton running for president. Like this is gonna be the first female president. This sucks.
Oh, we're going
Anyways.
political.
Anyways,
He's got a red drill. I've got a blue drill.
yeah, I don't
Who's
know.
voting for who?
I definitely enjoyed Spiderverse more than Black Panther. But yeah, I agree. The soundtrack was like, You know, I thought it was cool when
I didn't even
liked-
hate it. It just distracted me. It
Yeah,
was-
I like the beginning when he's studying and he was like singing. But I more
Oh,
like
yeah.
the scene than I do the song. The song was fine, but
Did you guys have a favorite? Another thing I loved about it was their interpretations of Spidey villains.
yeah, well, a lot
Yeah.
of those are
Like Doc Ock was a chick with like those weird,
yeah,
like almost like organic tentacles, and then Green Goblin's a fucking
Green
giant.
Goblin. That is, I think, the rendition of Green Goblin that they use from Ultimate Spider-Man, or it might be Spectacular Spider-Man, but I'm pretty sure it's Ultimate Spider-Man. No, Spectacular Spider-Man I think is $20.99 Spider-Man. Anyways, Ultimate Spider-Man. 'Cause there's the Amazing Spider-Man, which is the original series, and then all the side series have their own names, like Ultimate Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man. But like in Ultimate Spider-Man, they reimagine like the villains and stuff like that. And that's the reimagined Green Goblin is the big monster-looking demon thing,
That was cool.
which is a really cool.
Who were the other
rendition.
villains? It was Doc Ock. It was Green
Green
Goblin.
Goblin.
Oh,
Kingpin,
the uncle,
the uncle,
which I loved.
Prowler.
Prowler, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved how whenever he showed up on screen, it had a really fucking crazy
Yeah.
sound effect. Like
I
the,
was-
Yeah.
I really like that.
I was like, and every time you saw him or you hear that, it's like, oh shit, that guy's coming.
Yeah.
I fucking loved.
Oh Lord, he coming.
I loved the design and everything. I thought it was cool.
So I can't
thought it was
find
great.
any movie that has been nominated for Best Picture, but a ton of superhero movies get
have been
nominated for
Best
just
Picture.
what?
There hasn't been a single movie that's ever been
Superhero
nominated.
movie. Sorry.
Oh,
Didn't think
Yeah,
I was gonna have
that's
to.
what you gotta know about me, dude. You make a mistake like that, I'm gonna jump on that. I'm gonna tear you down.
But
if I see a wobbly board, I'm gonna get the drill.
tons of movies tons of superhero movies get a ton of different nominations.
Yeah, usually visual effects, sound design.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fucking pissed that Mandy. I'm not pissed. I don't really care that much. I'm just trying to spice this up. That Mandy didn't get a cinematography nom. Did you see Mandy?
Nominated for anything?
Not yet. I really want to though.
No.
I heard it has Spiderman in it.
Snubbed.
Yeah. That was my favorite movie of
Nick
last
Cage
year.
always getting snubbed.
Yeah.
Hey, you get a nom for Ghost Rider, dude. No, yeah, Mandy was dope.
That was my favorite by far. I can't wait to own it and see it in HD. Yeah, all its HD glory.
Did you hear about they're taking out cinematography, editing, and stuff from being
Aired.
So they'll still get the awards, but nobody will see it.
Literally, besides like the main 5 or whatever, cinematography and editing. Well, mainly cinematography is one that anyone gives a shit about.
Yeah.
You know, like actors, actresses,
Yeah.
directing Best Picture, and then cinematography, if anything else.
Yeah.
It's a fucking scam. They're really fucking up, dude.
It feels
It's
like
a joke at this
it's
point.
dumb. It almost feels like at this point, it might be a little conspiracy theory, like tinfoil hat, but I feel like they're drumming up controversy on purpose to get
people to watch
talking
it?
about the Oscars.
Oh, talk
and
about
then
it.
once all the backlash is finished wrapping up and people are done writing articles and stuff, to be like, all right, never mind. We'll just we'll show it. And I feel like that was their plan. I think that's what's going to happen.
It happens airs in like 10 days.
Yeah.
So they better jump on that shit.
I liked what Guillermo del Toro said a lot. Here, I'm going to pull it up. But his comment on, I think there's a couple different people who made a comment about it. There was Alfonso Cuarón, Guillermo del Toro, and one other person. But Guillermo del Toro basically said, he's such a distinguished way of talking. This is just a tweet too. He said, "If I may, I would not presume to suggest what categories to cut during the Oscars show, but cinematography and editing are at the very heart of our craft.
Exactly.
They are not inherited from a theatrical tradition or a literary tradition. They are cinema itself," which is such
Holy shit.
poignant way to put it. It's like this is something that is exclusive to movies. Like this is not something that comes from a literary standpoint or a theatrical standpoint. Like
Yeah.
this is just movies where we have editing and cinematography, and not showing them is like, then why are we celebrating movies? Like this is
Right. That's
ridiculous.
Because acting is in other mediums, you know, like you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But they're getting off track with the fucking. That's why they nominated Black Panther for Best Picture off of cultural merit instead of how good it won Best Visual Effects at something at like the
Best
BAFTAs.
visual effects.
The fucking
those
final
fucking-
battle.
I
If
was
you
gonna
watch
say,
it,
that's a
Those
joke
rhinos,
because of
dude.
the
if you rewatch the final battle on YouTube, it looks like a cutscene from the Black Panther video game.
And I mean, just to couch this, you know, I know that it's like 3 white dudes talking about it, but I mean, at the same time, I feel like that what we're saying is pretty valid. You know, like hopefully it's not coming across as insensitive, but ultimately, if we're just rating it for its actual cinematic merit, it doesn't deserve to be hyped up that much.
I don't think it's insensitive at all. I think that's bullshit because fucking that, like I was saying earlier, like Moonlight has both of those things. It has and it deserved to win when it won. It has cultural relevance. Yeah, 2016.
I thought, which one of those? Because wasn't there one where they said Moonlight and then
They said La La Land.
They said La La Land, but it's actually Moonlight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's something that should have won, and it's tells a story of a gay black kid in Florida. Like, so there's your cultural relevance or
but it's
cultural.
actually a good movie,
and it's a fucking
Importance.
amazing movie. I watched it again, and it's fucking sad. Well, it's not sad, but it's like it's a movie that matters.
Yeah.
Black Panther is a fucking joke. It's not a joke. It's just a.
It's a superhero movie. There are cool parts.
superhero
I'm not going to
like,
argue that it's. I'm not going to say that's not an important movie. It's just not, technically speaking, a great movie. You know?
Okay, yeah, maybe, yeah. Okay, maybe it is an important movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think that it can be important and then also know that it's a superhero movie. You know, I am very happy that there is a large portion of the population that is like, finally we have some representation in superhero media that's like taken seriously. It's
but
big.
I mean,
But at the same
Blade.
time,
Blade 2.
it's not a good movie. Blade 2, yeah, but
Although I did see, like, what's cool about a movie like Black Panther is I saw like I might have already talked about it on this cast, but like a YouTube video of outside of a movie Cineplex in a movie theater in Africa, and they're dancing
Oh, that's cool.
like outside of the premiere
tight.
of Black Panther, and it's like, oh, that's fucking okay. So it is an important movie, but like,
That's awesome.
you know what movie is a good movie and that does, represent another part of the population that didn't really have representation?
Minions.
Is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
oh right.
You want to see a real superhero movie?
What do you? Why don't you gush over it, Evan? Give us the.
No, I mean,
I want some gush.
Like, I love Spider-Man. Like, the action was dope. Everything I feel like they did well. Spider-Man is such a likable person, but he's a complex character. I feel like one of the reasons why Spider-Man became as popular as he is Stan Lee liked. Rest in peace, Stan Lee, by the way.
Great cameo.
Stan Lee liked to talk. Yeah.
Is that the last cameo?
Well, I think they filmed a bunch of them already for future movies. But he talks about how Spider-Man was one of the first like truly relatable superheroes. It was kind of a direct response to like,
Right.
yeah, everybody loves Superman, but nobody can relate to Superman, you know? So Spider-Man was a hero that's like people can relate to. And especially in this movie because I feel like Spider-Man's flaws aren't usually talked about, or when he's depicted usually show him as a hero. But seeing like the washed up kind of Spider-Man going through like life problems, like going through a breakup, actually gaining weight, it's, I don't know. I thought
It's
that
a
was
great
funny,
running
but
gag.
When he comes in and he's wearing
Makes him more
sweatpants.
relatable.
Dude.
And
He's just such
And
a
not
lovable
only-
character.
not only that, but they get every demographic. There's the Asian Spider-Man. There's the Spider Girl. There's the Black Spider-Man. There's the black and white Spider-Man
Pink
folks.
Spider-Man.
Miles is
That's
actually
big.
mixed race. He's black and
Yeah.
Hispanic.
Oh right, yeah. So they get. It's very
That's
like
a double whammy, dude.
Yeah, we're checking all the diversity boxes here.
it is though, but they don't like rub it in your face.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like with the I'm not gonna get into another
There's the
fucking
gay Spider-Man though.
tangent.
Don't ask, don't tell.
There's a reason Mary Jane broke up with. Okay. But like it's like movies like that where they don't shove the diversity in your face that actually are so much more impactful. Like Annihilation compared to Ghostbusters. Like Annihilation should be championed as a all-female empowerment movie, but no, I
Yeah,
mean,
and I
it's,
didn't
it's
notice
not.
that
It's
when I
it's
was
championed
watching.
as a fucking.
Who's the only dude? I mean, Oscar Isaac's like the only dude in that movie.
And old Forrest, or no, not Forrest Whitaker. There's like an Asian guy somewhere in there.
Well, also, Gabe, the gay Spider-Man was the blonde Spider-Man. With the good haircut.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I don't.
But that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. We won't get into that. Did you see? This is kind of a tangent, but it's movie related. I just saw a compilation video of Mark Hamill talking shit about the newest Star Wars movies. Have you seen that?
I can't. I watched one and now I can't. I will.
10-minute compilation.
Oh my god. I will always fucking defend Last Jedi, and the
Yeah.
fact Mark Hamill isn't like hates it or something, it just
I don't
bums me.
think.
Tanner, he's the Jedi. The Jedi himself is trying to
One of
tell
the
you that he
things
didn't
that-
get good representation.
I love.
That's just one of the things that he said that I was like, okay, yeah. It wasn't just needlessly shitting on it, like, God, those movies are dog shit. But he just said that he didn't agree with, like, even when he first read the script, he told him, I don't agree with the decisions that you're making for Luke, and I don't think it's in character of him.
That's the
some of
same
choices
shit I
he
said
made.
on one of our podcasts, dude.
Yeah, and I was like, I kind of agree with you, Mark Hamill.
I liked Luke's arc. I
liked him in the movie. Yeah.
I thought it was, I don't know. It was interesting. It was new. He got redeemed at the end, and his story's not over. I mean, it's fucking Star Wars, so.
What's interesting to me, what kind of bums me out, is he pointed out that he's had all this when he signed on. He had come up with all this like backstory and what he thought, and he tried to kind of work with him and like give his like, hey, this is what I was kind of thinking of, and he was like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson kind of seemed
kinda
like a prick.
Like that's funny, dude. Yeah, you can think about that in your head when you're acting the lines that I wrote for you.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, neat.
But
I directed Looper, by the way.
Ever heard of Brick?
Didn't he also direct the highest rated episode of Breaking Bad?
Yeah, Ozymandias.
The Fly.
The Fly.
All right. Any final thoughts on Spideyverse? What are we at?
Great movie. 120.
Are you shitting me? Wow, this might be a record breaker. Don't get us started on Spidey.
Great movie. Go see Into the Spiderverse. You probably
Yeah.
skip Velvet Buzzsaw and Kindergarten Teacher.
Watch Leave No Trace. Watch The Sisters Brothers.
Watch
Watch Sherlock and Watson Holmes.
yeah.
Credibles 2, don't miss out.
Watch the first hour of The Master before bedtime.
Yeah,
Just
it's
break
a
it up.
fucking.
You gotta chunk it out.
Yeah, I did the same thing with Schindler's List recently. I don't know why,
I
but
love that movie.
I love the movie, but like you can't do that in one sitting. I watched it over like 3 days because it's a great movie, but I was like, I don't want to be miserable.
It's like
that
watching
long.
3 Black Mirror episodes in a row. You just feel your soul draining away.
I haven't rewatched Lincoln since theaters, but I feel like I would have to do that with Lincoln.
Did you like Lincoln?
I liked it in theaters.
Okay.
I'm just saying that, like, I feel like
It's
not
just-
because it's hard to watch, but because it's like,
So it's a slog.
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like,
When is he gonna do the Gettysburg Address?
yeah,
Come on.
just say it. 4 score. Oh, okay. Wake
He
up.
just now got his beard and hat.
He just-
This is an origin story.
yeah. See, what you got to do is watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire first, or Slayer, whatever it is, and then Lincoln the movie will be like Logan for the Abraham Lincoln arc.
Abraham into the Lincoln verse. All right. All right. Put your drills on your chargers for next time.
Hopefully, talk about Glass. So I'm gonna get to that tomorrow. Hopefully.
Should we try to coordinate a movie we should all see for next time? I guess maybe Glass.
Yeah.
Is that a drill?
This is not a drill.
Yeah, if not, we'll find something.
All right. Till next time. Screws out.
Screw.
Time to screw off.